This is breaking news right now. A pursuit standoff after a pursuit in Van Nuys, and shots were fired.
A lot going on right now. Let's go up to Desmond Sean SkyCal with the very latest. Des?
Well, Juan and Susie, we're just hearing that this was a stolen vehicle out of the city of San Fernando, so up in the northeast corner of the valley. This vehicle right here, so they came to this cul-de-sac and they came into a dead end. Looks like there's someone there, it might be on the phone in the passenger seat. Shots were fired and they were still trying to back the vehicle up here into the police cars. And we know how seriously the authorities can take that. It is technically assault on a police officer, with using their vehicle like that. So all the officers are out of their vehicles here with weapons drawn. We saw that shots were fired. It's not clear if it was lethal or less lethal that was fired. It happened really, really quickly there. This is a really difficult spot for us as well because this is right on the final approach for Van Nuys Airport. So we're kind of trying to deal with that. But you can see somebody in the passenger seat. They are talking to the driver and just very frightening. But they not only have not wanted to give up, but like I said, they were reversing there, done some damage to the rear of this SUV. Right into the back of that cruiser. So a short pursuit out of San Fernando here in Van Nuys. I guess technically a standoff at this point, Juan and Susie.
Yeah, Desmond, as we were coming to you, we saw that car kind of moving forwards and backwards, trying to squeeze out of this location here. Obviously, they can't do it, and now we're seeing a door open, right, Des?
Yes, and we're hearing it may have been the tires that they actually shot out.
Okay.
So, there's just kind of another thing to try to motivate the suspects to get out. We do have a door open here, and, this is the passenger who knows, we always wonder about the passengers in these situations. Do they have any idea what's going on? Are they an accomplice, just a person in the wrong place at the wrong time or what? But, probably pretty frightening nonetheless. So they have the door open, and we're seeing, not a lot of movement here, so I'm sure they're going to be getting some commands on the loudspeaker, and it's obviously in their best interest to just follow that because this is a tense situation made much more tense by the driver backing up into the police cruiser there.
I mean, it seemed like this was all coming to an end when we saw this car going into this cul-de-sac. We thought, oh boy, this is the end of the pursuit. And as Desmond mentioned, that person, the driver, started going backwards. And that's when we do believe that shots were fired at the tires of this car to stop them from moving anymore, as they could have gotten away from police, as we've seen, Juan, during these pursuits.
Indeed, Susie, and that passenger not getting off his phone. We've been watching him for the few minutes or so that we've been on this pursuit right here, not getting off his phone. Mike, not even looking back. What's going on here?
No, and so, and I did just play back some video, and I'm sending it to the server, so hopefully we can show that to you in a second. But there it does appear maybe to be some bullet marks that were right above the wheel well there. But to your point, that passenger, which is generally the more compliant version of the two people that are in there, usually get out of the car. But as you pointed out, it does appear that he's on his phone. Right side of your screen, this is where we believe the shots were fired. You see that right officer? I'm going to play it again, and I highlighted the officer for you. So once it comes back, you'll see that happen again. But the shots went right above the wheel well. You see the car continues to reverse there. There's the officer, and you'll see his gun kind of coil there as he's firing those shots into the car there. And you saw some of those marks right above the right wheel well. And I also just heard LAPD putting out a help call for these officers saying shots fired. So they're going to get a lot of assistance now from the Los Angeles Police Department, who will be coming to help them. They already have the LAPD helicopter overhead this as well. So they will be coming out one way or another. They are in a cul-de-sac here, as you guys pointed out. That appears to be an unmarked San Fernando PD car, that Charger that's butted up right there against the back of the car. So not a lot of options for these people to go. This all just a stolen, I don't want to say just, but this is a stolen car that has now resulted in a police shooting as this was happening. And we saw that because that officer that is standing behind the Charger was directly behind the suspect car. So as that car started to reverse towards that officer is when that officer fired shots. I will tell you, it is unusual and usually not a department policy. I don't know specifically for San Fernando to shoot at tires. That is not generally a tactic that we see deployed frequently because of the fact that they very easily could have hit that passenger who is not the driver. Usually when these officers are going to fire shots, they will fire them at the suspect. and that is usually what they are aiming for. So if in fact they were aiming for the tire, which it appears that might be the case, that is a very unusual tactic for law enforcement when we're talking about deadly force.
And Mike, I was going to say, if they are getting help from the LAPD, they've called this shots fired. Is it because maybe perhaps San Fernando PD doesn't have the right maybe resources or officers there to take over here?
Yeah, San Fernando is certainly a very small agency. Besides from that, we're not in San Fernando anymore. Now we are in Van Nuys. We are smack dab in the middle of LAPD's jurisdiction. So LAPD will definitely have the resources to do this. Doors open. He's got the phone down, hands up, and he looks like he's having one last conversation with that driver. Hopefully, whatever is preceding this will make him get out. But it does look like we are starting to gain some compliance from the passenger here.
And not letting go of that phone, Mike. Look at that in his right hand there. But as you said, hands up, lifting his shirt, making sure that he's not armed.
And he's going to start walking backwards towards those officers if he obeys those commands. But, you know, surprisingly, it did take a little while. Usually when we see, you know, those orders shouted out at the individuals inside this car, they usually comply right away. Well, you know, I shouldn't say that because, you know, there have been standoffs like this before. But, you know, usually what we're looking at, you know, hands out the window, not a door just, you know, open for that long. Usually it's happening right away when that door opens. But it looks like they did take a little bit to get that person out. And I'm sure they will go and grab the driver as well. That person will also be asked to walk backwards and put their hands up just the same.
Yeah. And what a slow, deliberate walk back. You see he's taking tiny steps, Mike.
Yeah, taking very tiny steps. I mean, look, he knows that San Fernando's already fired shots at them, right? So he probably doesn't want to give them any more reason to do that again. And he'll be taken into custody here. LAPD is starting to join the party. We hear them have some units on scene. I can see, I believe there's a couple there. You have a sergeant from LAPD that just showed up as well. So they're going to get some help. They'll have that bunch of officers before they go up to get the driver. And Desmond, was that the driver? Did he hop seats, or is there still somebody in the driver's seat?
Yeah, hard to say here. It's kind of confusing. I mean, they certainly seem to think there's someone still in the car. We're, like I said, kind of hamstrung just because of where we are. There's a lot of stuff in the vehicle here. I mean, now I'm kind of wondering if he was the driver and got out, you know, into the passenger seat or what the deal is. But, yeah, almost kind of a hoarder situation inside of this allegedly stolen SUV. And so officers definitely still treating it like there's someone else in the car. And then, you know, if anyone's in any of the back seats, I mean, there's plenty of room for people in there. I'm not sure if that's I don't think that SUV has a third row of seats, but they're going to do some more call-outs and then approach the vehicle here. Well, possibly. I guess we'll see if we're able to maneuver it all to get a better look through the driver's side. But, okay, no, I do still see somebody in there. Yeah, there is still someone. But there's so much stuff in there, they might have trouble getting out. I'm not sure if they have enough room on the other side with that fence there. So let's see if they're going to be able to finagle their way out of this vehicle.
Yeah, this is breaking news here on KCAL News at 10. The end of a pursuit coming to an end in North Hills or Van Nuys area, with the driver of the vehicle now coming out, according to police orders there, as they're yelling them out. We saw the passenger already making his way out. And was apprehended by police, and now it looks like the driver is going to make his way, but taking his or her time, not coming out right away, as we might imagine, with their hands up.
Well, Mike, we have felony evading, right? We have a stolen car. Right. The fact that they tapped the San Fernando police car, is that assault on a officer?
It certainly could be. It depends on how hard they want to sell it to the DA's office and see if that charge ends up coming. Certainly something they could arrest them for. Now, when they got into the cul-de-sac, you know, right before we came on the air, like we said, we thought this was over. And then we saw the guy, or can't tell.
Is that a lady?
Smoking a cigarette or smoking something.
Smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, definitely imbibing in something. I think this is a lady here, and so they're asking her. They're not really thrilled with her kind of approaching this way. She's acting a little bit casual, a little cavalier, a little confused casual, perhaps, but now they got her. And okay, so now passenger and driver now in custody, but that person there, I mean, I don't know if they were, you know, I'm just kind of thinking the look that they had on their face, and then we're looking at all the stuff inside this car, if there's some, mental health issues going on here or what, but we'll see if, anyone else is in the vehicle. But I mean, just backing up, I just can't emphasize how many times we've seen this go south when someone gets cornered and they decide to back up into a police cruiser and turns into, a police shooting. And I mean, we have seen suspects killed that way. And I mean, not so much recently, but it's always, something that you're literally jeopardizing your life when you're taking that step. When, look, you're in a cul-de-sac, it's over. And now to try to do something like that, just extremely reckless. And, frankly, they're lucky to not be injured as they approach with their ballistic shields here, just going to clear the vehicle. We've got the pursuit tent as always. And it looks like it's going to be a code. Yeah, lots of stuff in the back, but looks like it's going to be a code 4 all clear. But, yeah, all kinds of stuff in this vehicle here. And they're going to be wanting to thumb through it to see if there's anything illicit in there, I'm sure.
Yeah, who knows what else is stolen. All right, Mike Rogers on the desk, Desmond Shop and SkyCal.